Alright, here's a video on how I made my crosscut sled. There's tons of great videos out there, so one of the things that makes this one unique is there's an insert. You can change it from a regular to a dado stack. It's fairly simple to change the insert. You just got to remove 2 screws. Slide the old insert out of the back. And slide in the new insert. And replace the 2 screws. I made my base from 1/2" MDF with laminate on top. To cut the laminate, I use a buddy fence to make sure that the laminate does not slide under the fence while you're cutting it. I give the base piece a light sanding. Then I apply a heavy coat of contact cement to both sides and let half an hour dry time. After about half an hour, the contact cement should be dry to the touch, and you can use 2 dowels and center your piece over top. Then using a laminate roller, start from the center and push the dowels kind of out towards the edge as you go. Be sure to press down firmly and try to get any air bubbles out after. Next, I put a flush trim bit on the router table and gave all the pieces a quick pass just to take off the overhanging laminate. I took this time to wax the bottom before putting the tracks on. To get a 1.5" thick fence, I used 3 1/2" sheets of Baltic birch plywood, and I planed them all to make sure they're the same size. Apply laminate to the face of the fence the same way you did to the base. Trim the excess laminate on the fence. I put a little 45-degree bevel on the fence just so that dust doesn't get trapped in the bottom. And I cut a 5-degree angle on the fence, just for looks more than anything. Then I rounded over the back of the fence where your hand goes so it's more comfortable when you're pushing it. I gave the fence a quick coat of polyurethane. I went to a plastics manufacturer and got a sheet of acrylic, which I used to cut about 7 tracks from for about $12. Now cutting it is kind of messy, and I do have a special blade for this. Make sure to test the fit and friction and side-to-side movement. I marked out the top of the base where I planned to screw in the tracks. I measured all the holes and center punched them. And using a countersunk drill bit, I pre-drilled all the holes and fastened the tracks with tapered screws. I found there was a little burr left over in the laminate after I had screwed everything down, so I went over the scraper just to remove the burrs. To make the first cut through the base, slowly raise the blade. And push the sled forwards, making sure you don't go all the way through at this point. I then cut the inserts out of 1/8" acrylic. Using a dado stack, I cut the relief that the insert fits into. Be sure to test that the fit is flush. I measured and pre-drilled the mounting holes for the inserts. And countersunk them. Then I put them in place and pre-drilled the base. Flip the base over and use a Forster bit to cut the recess that the T-nut will fit into, and set the T-nuts. You can now mount the back fence as square as possible, but it's not crucial. And then you can make a cut through one of the inserts. To mount the front fence, start by mounting one side. And you can use 2 squares to get a pretty good initial set point. And when you're satisfied, you can go ahead and tack down the other side. And then you'll make a pass through the entire sled. Then I used the famous 5-cut method for dialing in the fence. Then I changed out the insert and did 2 passes with a 3/4 inch dado stack. And then I whipped up a blade guard in SolidWorks and printed it off. And I mounted the blade guard on the fence. The sled should slide freely in the tracks. You can use a marker, mark the tracks, and shave off any high points. I used a dab of epoxy glue to make sure that the threaded inserts don't come out. And there you have it. Thanks for checking out this video, and please subscribe to see more videos like this.